Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, Déraciné, episode number 8. Because I accidentally skipped that dialogue in the last episode, I had to do another session, because I wanted to replay through the game and see what that dialogue was. And all it was Yulia saying, "Boys, I'm not going to be able to catch you." So, whoa, this hand is going crazy. I think there's something up with the controller. So we didn't really miss anything. So now we can go into the future to fairies and recitals. If you don't remember last episode, the big thing was that we helped the kids get into the music hall after we changed the past. So we made the kids go to sleep, and that helped Nils with their fever, and that helped Rosa without going out into the cold, chasing after the red fairy ring and hurting her leg, because I think a fairy probably took time from her. And now we're back where we started, so we can explore again. Oh, there we go. There looks like to be the headmaster and the dog sitting together. But I want to do some. Oh goodness, this hand is probably going to go crazy. I want to do some Jack lore and how it relates to Déraciné and my personal life and all that stuff, because this game has been very impactful to me. Let's first hear if there is a remembrance that's new for us.
Lawrence, well, did you get the music hall open? Wow, you two are amazing. Glad you found the pole.
Huh. Well, they didn't find the pole, we just gave it to them. Looks like Nils is talking to New again. So, in my therapy, I do, I've mentioned I do I'm in hypnotherapy, and I'm in EMDR. I'm in very intense therapy. Currently, I go to therapy every week, Fridays, for 2 hours. So I do a lot of one-on-one time with my therapist. Then I have homework I have to do, which involves reading something specific. Tilia won't let me go upstairs, but that means she's not anywhere else to block me. So yeah, I take it very seriously, and it's a lot of effort. Yeah, something, the PSVR has just been getting the controllers are getting worse and worse, and I think these controllers have to be over a decade old, and the headset too. So it's not really it's very difficult to get the grab here. It just stops. I move my hand down, boom. Okay, so I can do underneath. I just gotta see if it's the same thing. Yeah. Same thing as before. Okay, so I say that caveat because, I'm doing, it is a lot of stuff. And part of the hypnotherapy and it's mostly EMDR. You can find these on YouTube, but kind of light meditations. So it's getting into a meditative state and then imagining a light moving from the top of your crown, the top of your head, down through your whole body, and then into a specific part of your body, and feeling the light move and expand with your breath, which all may sound like, how are you going to do that with light and stuff, but it's the meditative process. It's making yourself purposely relaxed, it's getting yourself in that mental state, and it's practicing it. So let's see what Rosa has to say looking at our fairy board.
I hope the fairy sees this.
Oh, what does she want us to say? Dearest fairy, oh. That's so sweet. Oh, wait, see, there we go. That is so sweet. Okay, what does it say on the back? Thank you. Oh wait, let me read the front first. There's also I gotta press the button. So let's see. Dear Faerie, would you care to perform a recital with us? If so, please join us at the music hall. We want to give you a right and proper reception? I think that's what it said. Okay, an invitation written on colored paper with great care. Dear Faerie, would you care to perform a recital with us? If so, please join us at the music hall. We want to give you a right and proper reception. That's very nice. And then the back says, like a thing pops up. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Thank you for making our recital possible, I think. Very cute. That's very nice. And part of, so okay, so I was talking about the light there, I was talking about the hypnotherapy. And she, we talk a lot, obviously, it's therapy. So she knows a lot of the things that I like and how I like things to be framed. And so the light therapy is already a thing that it happens, you could do it on your own, but I don't know if this is in light therapy. So this says, taken like a leaf in the wind for Alexis. But we started thinking of using that healing light, doing that therapy. So at the River of Prayer, they left cat toy, a toy made of grass. This one has a ribbon tied to it. So this is a gift to a fairy. I think we read a book. Did it say that in the intro it says cats don't like, or fairies are afraid of cats? But I don't know if we found an item in this game that says that fairies are reborn into cats, or that cats turn into fairies. But in Dark Souls 2, the cat ring talks about how when a cat dies, they're born into something new or something different. And then in Elden Ring, we have Lacrima, the fairy cat, which is a legend in Raya Lucaria. You get it from the silver cat ring, which used to have the lore that it didn't say it was part of Raya Lucaria's history. Previously, Lacrima was Radahn's pet. And a lot of people are thinking like, oh, they removed the Radahn's pet lore because they didn't, they already had the horse. So they didn't want to like double up on like, oh, he just loves animals. He already loves his horse. Why would he love a cat? But the reason why it was most likely removed from the game is because of the cat lore that exists within the Soulsborne theorizing. Because we start back in Demon Souls. In Demon Souls, when you wear the cat ring, the icon in the corner of the screen is of the person's cat. I don't know if they passed away during development, but it's one of the developers' cat, like an actual picture of their cat. And then the cat shows up in the end credits, like that same picture. Then in Dark Souls 1, you have Alvina, the talking cat, who existed since the early age of fire. Then you have Shanalot? Is her name Shanalot? I don't remember what the talking cat's name is in Dark Souls 2. I don't remember what her name is. I think Shanalot is the Emerald Herald. Yeah, I don't remember her name, but she gives a lot of lore and insight and knows about the cycles of the worlds being reborn. Dark Souls 3 I don't think has a cat. I don't think there's a cat in Dark Souls 3. Bloodborne, no cat. Don't think there's any cats in Bloodborne. Sekiro, I don't think there's any cats. But Déraciné, we have the cat, and then we have the fairies and the cat-fairy interaction. And then Elden Ring, we got fairy cat. So we have to I think they took out the fairy cat being associated with Radahn because they didn't want the people theorizing, or they didn't want the lore of the fairy cats being directly impacting Radahn. Like, the fairy cat is a Miyazaki thing, and Radahn is a George R. Martin character. So I really didn't think they wanted to muddy his motivations by people theorizing too much of a Miyazaki thing on more of a Martin thing. So that's why I think it was removed. Because it still works either way, but you get into a little weird... It gets like, I don't know, I guess when you get too deep into it, it can really screw up some other theorizing. So this just makes me think that they're giving us the cat toy because cats and fairies both like the same toys. But we can't actually take it, but it has this nice ribbon just for us, because this is our fairy chair on the River of Prayer. So actually, that's kind of what I wanted to do with. So the light therapy is, she has been, like we just did in our last session, where we did talk therapy, then I did hypnotherapy, then I did talk therapy, and then we did EMDR. And part of it was like doing the light therapy and sending that light to different places in my own time, so to say. So like working on like sending that healing light, sending that comforting light to my past self, not to like change things, but just to like give myself love and forgiveness. Like a lot of guilt and shame is tied to how I acted as a child, even though I was a child. So I need to send love back to myself to, facilitate the healing process. And it's like a form of time travel. It's like a form of time travel. Let's listen to this memory.
Good morning, little Moo. Today we have a recital with the Faerie. Don't worry, I've practiced my part. I even learned the score for the music box you chewed up.
Ooh.
Wish us luck, will you?
We gotta find the music box he chewed up. Poor New. He swallowed something. That kid, and this is how the game ties to it, because these kids are going through something. None of these kids have their parents here. None of these kids have, they have this monastery and this school, but they don't have a home, like a house. They have a dormitory, and they don't have a mom or a dad, and I don't think any of them are sisters and brothers, maybe some of them are. They just have the old headmaster. And now they have the Faerie. And the Faerie, these kids are struggling with something, I think. The Faerie is here helping them through behind the scenes. Even when they think they're alone, the Faerie is there trying to help them. And doing that for me, it's playing this game, you get to be the Faerie that goes back to help these kids, literally going back in time. And it's what I'm trying to do for myself, and being able to textualize it with the story of Déraciné and the From Software universe, and integrate that into a meditative practice that feels real and enriching to me, is truly a magical experience.
There's still a few things left to do. They've picked the perfect song. Now all they need is the Faerie's attendance.
I wonder if I was supposed to go on the roof first. What do you have here? Oh goodness, I can't read this. Does it say? No. It's an old letter. What's the front say? Old sealed letter. An old sealed letter that's been opened. So I think he probably just opened it recently. So this was written very long ago, and he's been waiting for this moment to open it. My friends who took another path, let this music box be my gift to you. If the music box is the voice of a fairy as stated in the fairy tales, then perhaps one day we will have another chat, like the old days in the school halls of Rome. Ooh, okay, so this is a very hefty lore letter, because this is an old letter, and we could see it has a golden seal, and that's the seal proper, which was found on the library book. This is the seal on the library book that looks very alchemical. It looks like a drawing hex. It has the spiral. It kind of has rings on it. It kind of is, I think, shaped like the golden wand, because the golden wand has this at the top. And the golden wand is how we're able to, transfer someone's life. Someone holds onto the golden wand. At the beginning of the game, we picked up the golden wand, and it turned into this ring. Then, halfway through the playthrough, we find the golden wand, and he has it, and he's holding on to it, and we grab hold onto it, and we take his remaining life and go back in time to help Rosa and help Nils. Now we're back to the present, where he didn't give his life to us, and still we save the kids. So how is that possible? Well, it looks like this letter was written a very long time ago. We have a postage stamp of a woman on it. So I'm thinking wherever they're from, you know, maybe there's queens of what have you. There's the stamp for, I don't know what that says. It's very difficult. For the faculty of Rhone on the matters of your great venture. Nicholas Ucastasy or something. Lavis Graves? Lois Graves? So someone's dead. So this is someone who's dead. Lois Graves. If that is Lois. Lewis Graves? Whatever Graves. So this is someone's dead. My friends who took another path. So the path could be, you know, this is one path, and the other path was him dying. The kids getting hurt, and then him giving up his life. Now we're on another path. Let this music box be my gift to you. We read in the locked box, this fairy tale was there. It was in a locked box, that fairy tale. That talked about the music box being the voice of fairies. If the music box is the voice of a fairy, okay, so I think being able to, they're trying to put on a recital. He wants to know if the plan is going to work. I'm thinking. Like, this is all manipulation tactics by him that, and when I say manipulation, like, it might not be nefarious, okay? I'm not attributing malice to his manipulation. This is when we talk about, like, Ronnie lies in Elden Ring. You know, it's not, I think, that she's lying and that makes her bad. It's that she's lying because she has to in order to achieve her goal. And I do think that she has a net positive goal, and out of all of the other choices, it is the least harmful, so that makes it the most good, okay? And he may be doing the same thing because he gave up his life. You know, he died. So whatever this is that he's doing, he will die for what he believes in. Hopefully it's not like some weird death cult, but it's something nice. Maybe it's something nice to do with children and fairies, and not something nefarious. However, the gate at the front was locked. So either they don't want the kids getting out, or they don't want something coming in. So if you take another path, and everything works, then the music box, just like we read in the fairy tales, that the music box is the voice of a fairy, perhaps one day we'll have another chat. So the paths will converge, another chat. So we took another path, but then we'll have another chat because our paths will converge. This is the separate timelines. Oh, okay, so this is actually showing us, this is causality and regression. Right here, here's our Golden Order fundamentalist stuff. Oh crap, I need that again. Sorry, I hit my head. It's hard to like twist this and keep it straight if I had the book. But so causality is each line, okay? It looks like a chain. It literally looks like a chain. And it's a chain of relations. Everything is linked in a chain of relations. Everything is an individual event. Like each link is an event. I think my YouTube channel description says revealing mimicry in all its forms with causality. Oh no, with regression, we will be able to find each link. So we'll be able to find with regression by looking backwards, from like the end of the story to everything that happens before. By looking backwards, we will be able to find, we will be able to find every meaningful link, every event. And then I wrote, with causality, we will find meaning within each link. I think that's what I have. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's how I have it. And causality is, okay, if to find the meaning of the link, we have to see how one link leads to another link. So imagine each of those as each a link in a chain. But now I want you to granulate it even further. Imagine that each circle is made up of tiny little chains making up that chain, okay? Now, instead of making them a circle, cut them in half. Make it 2 chains that are overlapping. And I hope you see what I'm saying. So instead of it being, here, I'll draw it like this. Instead of it being like this, it's more like this, like that. It's interwoven like this, like it's going, the hand's going up. It's a spiral. This here is causality, causality, regression. So I guess causality, causality, regression. Causality, 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 regression. Causality, 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 regression. So what it is here is the chain of relations. Here is causality going outwards. However, regression wants the pull of meaning. So regression pulls everything back. But then they overlap. The 2 crossroads overlap, and we can have another chat. Then causality makes it go in opposite directions until regression pulls it back, and then boom. And you can see, here is how it also becomes chains 2 in the prisoner type of dilemma. Here is me trying to take my hands from the chains and they pull right back. Okay, what if I try this way and they pull right back? Okay, I'm going to free myself this time and they pull right back. Fate, here's that little line in the center, is bound together because we can't separate them. These 2 things always need to collide. There needs to be heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. But sometimes light and dark come together and they create an eclipse. It's the conjoining of the 2 together. And the only reason why they conjoin is because of causality and regression. It's only because one thing happens to another thing and another force, some other force, wants those things to go back to the beginning, how it started. What was the inciting incident? So the more you can go back and back and back and back, you can find each link in the chain. When it comes to like trauma recovery, it's trying to find, okay, why am I having these problems? Oh, his blanket is ripped. Maybe it's ripped so he can cover himself more. That's pretty smart. Is it ripped on both sides? No, just on one side. Interesting. Why am I like this? Why am I like this? This is what happened to me. My mom said something to me in December 2023, a day after my first, December 8th or December... Oh, I have to go up there to hear a voice line, I think. December 8th or 9th or 7th, I don't remember. She said something to me that triggered a panic attack. And then I was like, why did that happen? So I had to go back and back and back and back, and I was thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And then what happened? I recovered traumatic memories. Margarita's diary. Ooh. Diary entry written in a warm script. 5 orphans arrived today. Of course, this was in the name of our research, but I refuse to repeat the mistakes perpetrated in Rome. They shall live in our school, and we shall become their parents and teachers. I dearly hope we will all be happy together one day. Okay, wait, I gotta go. There was something I failed to analyze. Here. If the music box is the voice of a fairy, I stay in the fairy hotel, like the old days in the school halls of Rhone. So Rhone, school halls, either Rhone is a city, or it's a university, or it's a high school, middle school, elementary school, not one of those. Those didn't exist in like this, whatever time this was. But like, either it's like school, but most likely it is a college, it's a university. So either Rhone is that college or university, or it's named after the city it's in. I don't think there is any real place named Rhone, so this is a fictional world that Rhone exists in. And here we have Margarita's diary, who Margarita isn't here, but she was in this photo. So this was the photo that we found in the prayer area. 5 orphans arrived today. Well, there's more than 5 orphans. We have Alexis. We have Nils. Oh, maybe that little girl in the photo isn't Nils. Nils isn't trans. Maybe that was Alexis, and Alexis died. Maybe they were twins. Oh, they were twins and one of them died. That's very Radigan America. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. So Alexis, then the other two. Alexis, Yulia, and Marie. And then the others were, well, maybe they wouldn't be twins. I don't know, because there's not enough. Because then we have Lawrence and Henry, or Herman. Lawrence and Herman. 5 orphans read today. Of course, this is the name of our research, but I refuse to repeat the mistakes perpetrated in Rhone. So something bad happened in Rhone. They shall live in our school. So this won't be the school halls of Rhone, and this will be our school. So we're going to function differently. You know, think of Raya Lucaria. We're not going to act like Raya Lucaria. We're not going to act like Vinheim. We're not going to act like Melfi. We are going to act like our own school. Very Renala. Very Renala. So Margarita is giving me Renala. And we should become their parents and teachers. Well, that makes sense. Become their parents. So these are orphans. These children don't have parents. So they got orphaned some way. Perhaps they got orphaned because of something that happened in Rhone. You know, I'm thinking Bloodborne and how the church and the school of Mensis would disappear people and experiment on people and abduct children. And, you know, they would create orphans so they can abduct them. Like in Bloodborne, they perpetuate a sickness to force people to use the healing blood, and then they use it to burn down, like it's all an excuse to burn down a town that was worshiping the blood of beasts instead of worshiping the amygdalas, instead of worshiping fear. So there was a religious, religious thing, a religious conflict that was going on in Yharnam. And after you this creates the beast hunts, so they're hunting essentially a religious minority, and they are making orphans, and then they can take those orphans and experiment on them, and turn them into like those little what do you call it? What are those things called? Those little tiny abriduses. Yeah. So Bloodborne, the politics of Bloodborne is a lot like probably what's going on in Rhone. But I don't think there's any videos online of people talking the politics of Bloodborne. People don't know that there's not just one faction. Like, the reason why there's only one faction, the Healing Church, and then, just factions within the Healing Church, between the School of Mensis and the Choir and Bergenworth and all that stuff, is, they're all at odds with each other, but they're all fighting over the same thing, so it gets hard for people to be able to figure out what it is that they're actually fighting over. And it looks like our theorizing is correct, that the headmaster and Margarita are good. I dearly hope we will all be happy together one day. So we're unhappy, something bad is happening. Any lilies on here? Probably, I don't know. And we were unhappy at Rhone. Maybe we'll be happy one day because of the time-traveling fairy. So talking about all that history stuff, talking about going back in time, going back and healing and learning, in order to heal. We're looking for coins. In order to heal, I need to know what hurt me. What was it that hurt me? And that's tied to, a lot of very traumatic and abuse memories. But I'm trying to... Oh, here we go. We got something here. What's this? A mallet for striking a percussion instrument. I also feel like there's going to be is there going to be a coin over here? I think I looked online. There might have been a coin here. But I don't see it, so it's probably not here. But we still got to look for coins. And one of the things that Déraciné has also given me is that Déraciné is based on Gaelic folklore, and particularly the writings of Fiona MacLeod. And Fiona MacLeod was part of the... this is the Fiona Stone doll, the one that I was like, oh, this is first I was like, this is Yulia. Then I was like, okay, this is Marika. Now it's like, it's the peculiar doll. We have to go into Bloodborne. Oh, she has her little clipboard, but I think she might be a ghost. Is she moving? No, okay. Fiona MacLeod was part of the Scottish... here, let me change. Boom, I'm going to be on the stage now. Wait, okay. This is going to be weird. Here's some weird time travel thing. Okay, this is me talking to, here's me watching myself. Oh, it's turned so I'm actually on the stage. Okay, this is me practicing. There's the baby. Let's look at this. There's all these animals coming to see a baby and butterflies, a golden child and fireflies. Let's actually, oh goodness. Wow, we can really see everything here. So that looks like a lamb and a wolf. So the lamb, oh, are those baby wolves? Oh, cubs, okay. And then this is all coming together. So we have cubs and wolves together. And then next to the wolves, we have, oh, you know, I could just do this. We have the beavers, and the beavers they're not coming, they're not fighting each other. They're coexisting. Then we have the butterflies. Think butterfly effect, 2 butterflies. Oh, we're getting very, it's giving me, oh, you know what's magical here? It's a lot of children. So first we have the pack, the mother, the father, the mother, and then the 2 puppies, the twin puppies. Then this is representing a family, a cohesive unit. Then we have the butterflies, signifying rebirth, the caterpillar who turns into the butterfly. And we have 2 butterflies, so maybe 1 boy, 1 girl, or maybe different timelines. Then we have beavers. Now I'm seeing maybe a mother and 2 children, or maybe you know, a mother and the father and 1 child, but maybe a mother and 2 children. Then we have 2 birds, say on the branch. Here we have the toad, a duck, and some ducklings, 2 ducklings. And before we get to the center, a squirrel, more butterflies, baby chicks, flowers, a snake, more birds, raccoon, baby raccoon, 2 rabbits, a goose, a doe, a stag, an owl, more butterflies. There's the owl up there, St. Trina's owl. All of these different animals, I think the owl is watching over the dreams of the infant, of this golden child. This golden child, where did they come from? Why is there a golden child here? What happens at the end of Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree? What's my theorizing? That after Miquella ascends, after he cuts off all of his flesh, after he travels through the land of shadow, after he was abducted by Moog, after he meets Mesmer and tells him of the Tarnished, and after your Tarnished unveils near a limb from its shadow, after the Tarnished fells Radahn and kills Miquella with a god-slaying weapon, his time is twisted, and the ever-youthful Miquella is sent back in time. But where does he go? How far back? I think we got our answer. Miquella wanted an age of compassion. When was that age of compassion? 1,000-year voyage on the age of compassion. You know, people are so upset because the age of compassion is not something you can get in Elden Ring. But who's to say that the age of compassion hasn't happened before? Who's to say that there wasn't one golden child who was able to bring the wolves together, the snakes, the rabbits, the skunks, the owls, the deer, the foxes, the birds, the butterflies, all together at one point. And now, we're trying to recapture that. We're trying to make it happen again. Well, you can't send the golden child back into the past to make it happen. It's already happened. That already happened. The thing you want to try and do has already been done before. Something new has to be done. And what this game has given me is a look to my past that I didn't know I could explore. So my father was born to a teenage mother, and his father was in the military. So my father was born in a German hospital where my grandfather was stationed, at an American military hospital in Germany, because that's just where he was stationed. So he was born outside the United States, but still a U.S. citizen. At some point, I don't know when, very early in my father's life, my grandfather walked out on him, my uncle, and my grandmother. So my dad, who was the eldest of the family, lost his father. He had, so my last name, I won't say it yet. His grandfather, my dad's grandfather, owned this business, a very successful business, a manufacturing business. And it was supposed to be inherited by my grandfather. But my grandfather was a drunk. He, pissed away the fortune, had to sell the company. He left my dad, my uncle, and my grandmother, and they had to live in a very poor area in New Jersey. Eventually, my grandmother gets remarried, and my grandfather, my step-grandfather, the person who I known as my grandfather my entire life, was very abusive. He was physically abusive to my grandmother. My dad said at one point he had to fight him. He pushed my grandmother, and my dad was 16 or 17, and he pushed my step-grandfather to the ground. Fast forward, I had this memory of my dad had this shed that he would hang out in. He had he had his radio in there. He had stuff on the walls from his grandfather, on his mom's side. He had my dad wasn't a hunter, but his grandfather on his mom's side was a hunter, so he had all of his memorabilia. He had deer that he shot and killed. He had all that type of stuff on there. And I remember one day, and my dad would go there and he'd hang out in that shed and he'd listen to music and smoke pot to get away from my mom. Am I facing the... I'm not. I turned away. Sorry. It's awkward. I don't know where I am. It's hard doing these things in different time zones, or in time traveling things or whatever. So I remember being in that shed once with my dad, and he's like, "Oh, I want to show you something really cool." And he took out this plaque, and it was a plaque with our name on it, and it had a crest. It had a house crest, and it had, I think, a knight on it, a knight and a checkerboard. And he said, our name is, this, our name, this is our family crest. This is what our name means. And at the time, I didn't really know what that meant. I was just okay, that's what our name means. You have a plaque. I don't know. He didn't really share with me that our name has history. And that history is tied to this royal crest, this royal family crest. And my last name is a Scottish last name. And Déraciné's lore, its setting, its story is based off of the Scottish revivalist Fiona MacLeod. In the late Victorian era, 1800s, there was this movement amongst Scottish writers to try and preserve their history. And part of that history was the fairy tales, the folklore, the things that they said about fairies and mysticism and magic and the little people or the good people. All of these, what they believed their world looked like. Like, I recently read a book by Fiona MacLeod because it was one of H.P. Lovecraft's. He really liked this book. It was called The Sin Eater. And it was about this practice that that was merged from Scottish folklore into Catholic tradition, where if someone died who had sinned, needed help repenting, they would employ a sin eater, typically a stranger who didn't know the person who died. And what the sin eater would do is they would go to where the funeral was being had, typically in someone's house, typically with some sort of wise woman who knew runes and chants and mysticism. They would watch over the body overnight so they could watch over the spirit, waiting for a stranger to come by. And then when the stranger would come by, they would pay him, generally it was a poor person, they would pay them money to eat bread and drink salted water off of their chest. In doing so, they believed that they would transfer the sins from the recently deceased into the stranger, into the sin eater. And through the sin eater, through this kind of like act of kindness from a stranger to take on someone else's sins, being very Christ-like in the Catholic way, but also working into the folklore, where you're transferring the evil energy from the recently deceased to the living. So we can see how the sin eater paradigm was able to merge from Gaelic folklore into Catholic tradition. The stranger would take on these sins, and then through the grace of God, the sins would be washed away much quicker because the person holding on to the sins didn't commit them. They are not their sins, so why should they be punished for someone else's sins? That is unless the stranger knows the recently deceased. Now, in The Sin Eater, there is a man named Neil Ross, and he is coming from back out west to his home of Iona. And the reason why he's coming back is because he heard that this man named Adam Reed, I don't remember his last name, had recently died, and he wanted to come and curse his name. He wanted to curse his name. The reason why he wanted to curse his name is because the man who recently died, convinced Neil Ross's father to leave his mother and marry another woman. And that other woman was barren. So he left his wife and child for another woman and then didn't even have more kids. He just left. He just left the family to be with another woman. And Neil Ross was angry. He hated his father. He cursed his father's name. But he also cursed the man that convinced his father to commit the sin that wronged him and his mother. That's the only complaint Neil Ross has about his father. So he's coming to curse Adam. He gets there, and he gets close to there, and he before he can get to Iona, he stops at a house. The house is this old woman. This woman who speaks very good Gaelic, and she knows chants and runes and magic and mysticism. She knows how to see the spirits that come in the night for the recently deceased. She's a magical woman. And Neil Ross doesn't recognize her. He's never met her before. But she recognizes him because she was there when he was named. She knew his mother and his mother's mother. And she knows that all of Neil Ross's family has died. And she lists his uncles, his brothers, his sisters, his sisters' husbands. So she knows him very well. And she knows all of his extended family, and she knows they're all dead. She knows this man's alone. And she knows the history of why his father left him and his mother. She knows all these things. She knows how he feels about Adam. Well, he wants to get to Iona, but he doesn't have any money. So she says, well, before she says this, after she tells him that all of his family has died, she says, my family has died too. I had 3 boys, and they're all gone now. 10 years, in fact. And they both weep, and they both cry, and they both say to each other, he says, my heart is sore, and he says it in Gaelic. And she responds in Gaelic and then responds in English afterwards. She says something like, and my heart is sore with yours. Or like she says it and then he responds. I think she says my heart is sore in Gaelic. And then he responds in Gaelic, and my heart is sore with yours. So he is showing to her, like, I'm hurt too. I'm hurt as well. We're both hurting in this moment together. So she says, I'm going to give you some money. But you have to do something for me so you can get to Iona, so you can go home. Adam has recently died, and I need you to be his sin eater. And he was annoyed because he was going to curse out Adam. He didn't. If I mixed up the details, I'm sorry. This is the first time on the stage. I'm getting stage fright. He didn't know. He didn't know that Adam was dead. He was coming to. He thought he was alive and he was going to curse at him. He was going to yell in his face and he was going to put a curse on him and just let out all this aggression. And then he learns that he's dead. Oh, that sucks. Okay. So I'll be the sin eater, whatever. You know, strangers aren't supposed to know, but it sucks, whatever. Then she's like, all right, well, you got to sleep beforehand. So then the woman, the page says she tells a lie to him. She lies to him. But it doesn't tell you what the lie is. And then she said something, but you have to discern what the lie actually was. By the way, people don't like this book because they don't know what's going on in the background, I don't think. At least I found one review. Not many people have read this. This is from 1896 or something. So the old woman goes to the house where the body's being kept, and there's another old woman there. She's watching over the body, and they're taking shifts watching over the body. At one point over the night, one of the old women has to go to the sleeping old woman and curse away the spirit back into Adam. So she wakes up, they wake up, they go back to the house, and Adam's like, all right, I'll be your sin eater. And then she says, oh, I want to tell you something. Someone tells him this. It's either this old woman or it's the next old woman. I think he goes to the house and he meets the other old woman. And she's like, don't let them know your name. Don't let them know who you are. And, there's this thing that if someone becomes a sin eater and they go to the ocean, they can curse the person by throwing their sins into the ocean. The ocean will eat their sins, and then they'll turn into demons. Their sins will turn into demons that will prevent the man from having his sins cleaned by God, and he'll be haunted for eternity by these demons. So that's why the sin eater can't know him, because he'll curse the person for eternity. And she tells him this. And he goes, oh, well, I would never do that. I wouldn't do that. But it's good that I know this. Then he does the sin-eating business. He gives a fake name. He does this, that. He, after he does the sin-eating, after he eats the bread and the milk, he curses Adam. And his whole family's there. The guy's son is there. The guy's son's wife or whatever. His brother is there or whatever. There is this guy's whole family. And they know he's a bad dude. They're like, yeah, my father sinned. He was not a good guy, but I love him, Hopefully, thank you for doing this, but I'm a little fishy about you. I don't know who you are. Whatever. So he curses them. Neil Ross curses the body. Then he goes, he's planning on going to the ocean and throwing the sins into the ocean. On his way, someone runs into him and they are like, oh, I know what you did. I heard that I know you're Neil Ross and I know you cursed this guy and you doesn't look too good. So Neil Ross throws the curses in the ocean, and then Neil Ross goes crazy, and he gets haunted, and he jumps into the ocean. He's gonna get eaten by kelpie, and he goes crazy. Nobody likes him. Nobody talks to him. He lives a loner lifestyle, and eventually he says, "I am Judas. I am Judas. I sold him for 5 shillings. I sold Jesus for 5 shillings." and then he kills himself by jumping in the ocean. Did I miss any details? Oh, I missed a really important, I think I missed a really important detail. Oh gosh, what was it? He's Judas. They're like, what's your name? Like, one of this guy's his friend. He's like, what's your name? He's like, I'm Judas. Oh, this was the important part. Rumors were going around that after Adam, the dead guy, was put into his coffin, some point, I think it's supposed to be when he's throwing the sins into the ocean, he turns up to the sky and laughs, like the corpse laughs. So, why was that cool? Why was that important? Because I kind of like didn't know that that type of folklore was part of my history. This story about someone eating someone's sins, someone doing a good deed, and then throwing it away, led to, causality. Another link in the chain. We don't know how old this folklore is, because what the Scottish revivalists did was they would go through these different towns and villages that weren't formally educated by Scottish schools that were constructed mostly after English colonization. The English, who are trying to take away history of the Scots and the Irish by removing their language, by taking away the words that they say. So in order to keep these folk traditions and beliefs alive, Scottish revivalists like Fiona MacLeod would go to villages and learn these fairy tales and then write them into stories and then put those stories out in publications, put those stories out in books. And I read this one poem by Fiona MacLeod that was exactly who Merica was. Like exactly, to a T. I bought the book so I could read, but you can't find the poem online. I have to transcribe it. I don't think it's been written and posted on the internet. It's in books, and you can get those books as ebooks, but this poem isn't anywhere you can just read. But as I learned, this might have been a poem that Hidetaka Miyazaki read, because that Fiona doll was named after Fiona MacLeod. And when I emailed the author of the Guardian article, and her name's Kenza, who interviewed Hidetaka Miyazaki for Déraciné, Hidetaka Miyazaki also told her that Déraciné's code name was Fiona. So where Bloodborne was Project Beast, Déraciné was Fiona. And I read this poem, and I was like, oh my God, this is who Merica is. And then I thought, oh my God, Merica is based off of, partly, a Scottish folklore tradition or belief in some way or another. That doing all this work, trying to look past, learn about my history, learn about my trauma, I learned that the character in the story that helped me remember may have been made from my history that I don't even know, the history that made me who I am today. And the crazy part is that it wasn't actually written by Fiona MacLeod. This poem was written by William Sharp in 1894, I believe. Fiona MacLeod didn't start publishing until 1895 or 1896. And that's because Fiona MacLeod is William Sharp. William Sharp made a pseudonym of Fiona MacLeod. He lived this complete, actually, double life. He based Fiona MacLeod off of women he knew. He based Fiona MacLeod off of his wife, his sister, and I think his mistress. These three different women. his wife, his sister, and his mistress. And basing it off those 3 women, he would write from the perspective of a woman, a Scottish woman. William Sharp already had a history as a novelist, as a creator, but he was getting panned as being called a hack. Fiona MacLeod, though, was incredibly popular. She was more popular than William Sharp. She was so popular that she was published in H.P. Lovecraft's magazine. And in that magazine, there were stories that H.P. Lovecraft personally liked. One of those stories was Sin Eater. That was a story that he liked so much. He decided to publish Fiona MacLeod in his magazine. Fiona MacLeod was so popular that the British government was like scratching their heads, like they didn't know who this woman was. Like, this published author is making a lot of money. We've never heard of her before. How are we going to tax her on this? How are we going to tax Fiona MacLeod? Fiona MacLeod would write letters. She would do interviews, but she would only do them by letter. She would never let anyone meet them. Fiona MacLeod, this was all said through William Sharp and I believe his wife or his sister. When they would write letters, he would tell his sister what he wanted said and she would write it down. He would say the words, she would write it in her pen. They were the words of Fiona MacLeod spoken through William Sharp and transcribed by William's sister. And it just blew my mind that not only is Marika's character based off of my history, but the person in my history who may have created that character is just like Ratigan. Because Ratigan is Marika. Fiona MacLeod is William Sharp. And nobody knew that until after he died. Nobody knew William Sharp was Fiona MacLeod until he died. Isn't that crazy? Hey, Yulia, what do you got here? Sheet music. Sheet music. Faded sheet music. Sheet music for an old ballet. The piece, named for a distant town, has a part played by a music box. What is it named? What is that? Okay, what's the... Scarborough Fair. Scarborough Fair. So Scars, Borough Fair. Scarborough Fair, okay. Can I see it? Yeah, okay. So, Scars of the Past. What are you saying, Yulia? And you have the sheet music, even though I think you're a ghost.
They chose this song. I'm so happy they remembered that the music box is the voice of the fairy. Oh, you're here, kind fairy.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. They will be very pleased. But you might be a little early. They're still getting ready. Wait just a moment, okay?
Oh, that scares her. Oh, she's smiling. Wait, can I... Oh, she likes that I'm communicating from the place beyond time. Or the place where time stands still.
They chose this song.
Oh, we already got that one. Oh, the color's different. It's kind of... Oh, it's drained of color. It's a little somber. This is a darker gold.
Actually, I'd like to ask you, if you ever have to wait in the place where time stands still.
Do you ever have to wait in the place where time stands still? That sounds like a riddle. Aren't you always waiting in the place where time stands still? Do you have to wait in the place where time stands still? Yeah, I think... Oh, because if time stands still, you have nowhere to go. So how could you be waiting? If you're waiting in the place where time stands still, that means you want something else to happen. You want time to move. But what if you don't want time to move? Then that isn't waiting. So it depends. It depends on your outlook on where you are. Okay, what's in here?
Herman, what's that?
Is that a coin? I want that. Give me. It is large cog, misplaced brass cog that Herman found. Fits in the music box, but it's not the only missing cog. Cog in the machine. All right, Herman, what do you got to say?
The gear from the music box. I found it on the floor.
Oh, good.
Music box? You mean the voice of the fairy, like Julia said?
Yes, the music box on the stage.
That's my
It
voice.
would play our song, but it's missing some other gears, and I haven't been able to find them.
Oh dear. I hope this doesn't upset the fairy.
Neither do I. What's this say? Faded sheet music from an old ballet. This is the vocal part, but the singer is no longer with us. Perhaps she can join the performance, if only in spirit. Scarborough Fair. There she is. Ladies and gentlemen, put a round of applause. I called it. She's a ghost. Yulia's a ghost. Oh. In Dark Souls 1, he talks about Yulia and people think it's the sword. Maybe Yulia's the fairy. Ah, that would make sense if Yulia's a fairy. Did you know Fia's original name was supposed to be Yuria? Ah, Yuria is a fairy. Okay. I could dig it. Nice shoes.
That's a lovely Beta Rosa.
Thanks. Yours must be very difficult to play, Herman.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make this a show the fairy will never forget.
I can't forget it because I'm recording it. I'll always be able to remember it. So thank you, Rosa. Yeah, can I grab your triangle? A lovely shine metal percussion instrument. A lovingly shine requires a beater to play. So she loves her, what do you call it? Her triangle. Bassoon, woodwind instrument played by Herman. Cool, Herman. Okay. You play the piano, Lawrence? Oh, what happened to your... Why do you have this Band-Aid?
Ow.
Sorry.
Am I imagining things? No, this is a problem. I have to tell the others. There's a snake upstairs. It'll bite anyone who comes near it.
Oh, no. He got bit by a snake. Oh, I should have looked at the information on that. I guess I could take it. Bandage. Bandage applies small bite. Clearly only a minor wound. Oh, I can hold on to it. Or I can leave it on his face. Yep. Played by the... Okay, he's an organ player. Oh, what's this little ring on his finger?
I'm still able to play. That was quite a scare, but I wasn't hurt badly.
Good. They have... Do they all have these little rings? Oh, can I hit the piano? Can I play something? Oh, there's probably a puzzle here. If I hit them all? I'm playing the instrument with you. Anything underneath? Any coins? Not seeing any coins. Okay. What are you guys up to?
Marie, did you practice all night?
What? How did you know?
You were sleeping.
Simple. I could hear you. I was doing just the same.
How'd you know I was practicing my instrument?
Fairy is our special guest. This needs to be a special performance.
Thanks, buddy. Clarinet, a woodwind instrument by Nils. Moved by a performance Herman gave on the bassoon, Nils chose to take up a woodwind instrument. Oh, he looks up to Herman. Oh, that's so nice. That's so cute. He looks up to Herman, so he learned how to play a similar instrument, but one that's smaller. Can I grab his glasses? No. Okay. What's in here? Can I not? Oh, I can. Okay. A bow for playing the violin. Can I go? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, 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 no. Again. No, I want to hold it. I want to hold it. I guess I can't. Cool. Very cool. Do you have anything to say? Nothing to say? I can't take that? I can just... Okay. All right. What does this say? A short memo reads, music box is broken, missing 2 cogs. All right, let's put the first cog in. Probably go upstairs.
Was that the music box?
Yep, it was. What does this say? Oh no, New died from swallowing a cog. He ate the cog. Okay, what can we do here?
Curious, though. The music box should be missing some gears.
Hey, but you got a fairy.
I thought naughty little Noo chewed them straight off.
No.
I remember. I'm sorry, Nils. I didn't mean to stir up sad memories.
Maybe he's not sad.
No, it's quite all right.
We must be hearing things. Now, come on. Let's get ready for the recital.
Let's see. He's fond of their look. Can I do the violin again? Can I take the... Okay. So I gotta go to New. Oh no, I'm gonna take the life of the snake. Oh no, I'm gonna kill the frickin' snake to get revenge and bring New back to life. Was there anything? No. Came in through the window, Herman. Oh, my hands are getting stuck. Echo of a long pole. Where'd my hand go? I gotta be careful, because like, it's, which button is it? Okay, that button. I don't want to hit that button and then go to the next epoch when I'm not ready.
What is it? Is something wrong, Lawrence?
The snake. Any coins? I just feel like there would be a coin here. Where the hell's the coin? Is that a coin? Did I just see it? Or is that like a bug? I think it's just light. Yeah, not a coin. There's all the kids. Hopefully the coin's over there. There's got to be a coin here. Oh, xylophone. Can I... 1. One. Oh, I gotta learn how to play it. I gotta learn the number combination. That'll be what I gotta do. Alright, buddy. What happened? Do I have to go out the window? Where's the snake?
What's this?
Oh, there you are.
A living thing. Here. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't be angry. I didn't mean to startle you. I mean you no harm.
Oh. Okay, so the kids are really a living thing here. So the wanting to go to the forest makes sense now because they don't have access to living animals here. They have the dog, but oh, you know, the facsimile of the birds. Like he draws birds, but it's only from a book. They don't actually see them. So it seems like that whatever as happening in the outside world, there's no more life. It makes me think of the nothing. It makes me think of Night Rain. I gotta learn how to play that thing. Okay, I gotta go outside though. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Déraciné really has everything. I was thinking of doing a video for Déraciné after doing the Let's Play, because I felt like that would be a really... Is there anything out here? Oh, this is where I can get the... If I've missed the coins out here, I can get them, but I already got them. Oh, here's the fence that's chained in. See? My hands are stuck. Can't leave. Yeah, it's making me think of Night Rain. So all of this stuff, like I know Vadi has a lore video for Déraciné that came out when Déraciné came out, and I think that's the only, like, I don't know if anyone else has any critical analysis for Déraciné out there. So I was thinking, hey, I could do that, and I'd probably be really good at it, and give me a way to talk about all the other stuff in the other games without having to feel like, oh my god, I have to prove everything's right in Elden Ring because everyone has their opinions on Elden Ring, and they're not going to take Elden Ring seriously. But Déraciné, people haven't played Déraciné. So explaining Déraciné would be my way to talk about all the Elden Ring stuff. And that's just, it's been pretty exciting. How am I supposed to get that snake? Was I not supposed to come up here? I thought I'd have to go by the window with him. Maybe I just gotta get my hand there. I want to find that coin. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't have gone that way. So my thought process was like, oh, after I finish Déraciné, I get to write an essay about it. I get to do a thing that no one else has a perspective on, and Déraciné is just like the perfect way for me to do that because it's... Can I go out this way? I didn't explore over here, right? No coins? Coins in the grass? I don't think there's any coins in the grass. I do have that other save, but I don't want to play through the whole game again. I gotta figure out how to kill the snake. Yeah, so like just doing the Déraciné thing would be awesome, because then I get to talk about all this other stuff. Here you are. A small, non-venomous snake. You're not even venomous. Oh no. The Glow-Eyed Queen got sacrificed. She was never even a venomous snake. She only looked venomous. Oh. Whatever time it had left had been drained. A carcass of a lifeless, withered snake. Oh, you know what? This is just like... wait. Let's see. Okay. We still got more to... So this is totally Glow-Eyed Queen. This is Mimic's Veil. This is Dark Souls 3, the snake at the end of Dark Souls 3. Oh, that's it. Okay, so finding all of the stuff through... Oh, that's sad. He's like... And then I have the life of the snake. Contains snake's remaining time. Touch something that has died to revive it, granting its time. So what I can do, because I've been thinking of how I want to do these things, because maybe I've been going at it all wrong. By starting with Elden Ring and having to explain Elden Ring, and like why my perspective is valid and legitimate and should be taken seriously, by having to compete with everyone else who does Elden Ring, it's like, well, okay, well, yeah, so you're a survivor, you got this story, but it doesn't really mean anything because you're not telling me anything new. But people haven't played Déraciné. They don't know who New is. This is New. And all of these, the game is just like giving me like, oh, I want to talk about the Glow-Eyed Queen. Well, I talk about with the snake. I want to talk about time-traveling Mikola. I did it on the stage. I talk about the dry bouquet the first time I get to it. You know, I get to talk about all these different lore things and how they connect just in Déraciné because of the things that pop up. And it helps tie the narrative together, because I was thinking of doing this with Sekiro, because Sekiro does this too, but Sekiro is, you have to explain more of Sekiro. But this is like perfect because now I get to explore my own history, like legitimately, and still get to talk about all these games that I really know. I get to tie them both together. And it's just been like, doing that and thinking about the perspective has like is giving me, I think, the opportunity of learning what healing looks like, because I have been in the mourning stage for like this past year and a half. I was doing remembering for the first year, but for maybe going on maybe 2 years, like a lot of mourning, I haven't really been able to start healing because I've been doing so much mourning. And I feel like I might be done with mourning soon. At least as like my primary step. You always go back to the early stages and steps, but I haven't really touched healing that much yet. I mostly stay within stage 1 and stage 2. Okay, let's give you some time. I have to do this. How do I touch something that has died to revive it? Oh, I have to touch it with the other hand. Gotta bring him back to life. I took it from the snake to bring back new. The snake was non-venomous, so he was harmless, but the mouse, where'd he go? But the mouse was his friend. Where'd the mouse go? Okay, maybe by putting the cog in. Well, I gotta finish this soon, because this game's giving me a headache. Doing VR for too long is tiring, because I don't think I was supposed to be playing this long, but I'm chit-chatting. My eyes are getting tired. Poor snake, but we saved the mouse. Okay. How am I gonna learn how to... Okay, wait. So that opens... These two open the cog, so I have to... Don't open the thing, so I can't open that. They know I'm here.
The music box.
The voice of the fairy.
That's me. That's not fair. I didn't even get to finish that puzzle. They just made me cry. Oh, alright. I gotta figure out how to get that coin. Hopefully I can get in the next one. If not, I have that save. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for being here. It really means a lot. I don't know, it's just like so amazing that I'm able to share this with so many people. And I have strangers rooting for me. I felt alone for so long. Oh, come here, baby. She doesn't like when I cry. I felt alone for like so long, and now I have so many people. I have so many things. And I even have all of you. Even though right now, you want to see what I see? This is what I see. Isn't that funny? All right, everybody. You know the drill. Let's do the thing.